Hello, good morning. It's Monday here, 4th of August 2025. So I just want to share my bias for the Monday and for the week. So, like I usually tell you guys, and you already know, I usually mark out my high and low of the week every Monday. So I have successfully marked out this level. So all I'm waiting for now is for price action to definitely show me what it wants to do. So from where my high, weekly high of the week and low of the week is, I can see that there is high possibility that this market is going to dump to the sell side. There is strong possibility that this market is going to go down to a sell market. But I only have to wait. The reason why I have to wait patiently is because of what is happening here. You can see from this level. Remember the last video I posted that I talked about market structure. So if you watch that video very well, you can understand why I said I'm going to wait out for this level. So why am I waiting? You can see here from the downtrend. Normally, you know that the market is a downtrend from the higher time frame, which is my 4-hour time frame. So from this level, it's called market structure. So remember here is the lower low. If it's in a previous video I did, like in the previous video I did, it's a lower low. So here now is the lower high here. Then what happened again? We saw a lower low here. So here now we see market has failed to break to the upside. Market has failed to break to the upside from this level, but it's rejecting this level. When you look left, it's rejecting this level. So the reason why I'm also positioning for itself, it's because of what is happening here. Market rejected this resistant level here, this psychological level. Market has rejected it. So since market has rejected it and failed to break, what am I expecting now for more confirmation? I've already marked out the high of the week, as you can clearly see. I've already marked out the low of the week. So what I'm expecting now is to see price action, is to see an MO pattern from the lower time frame on this level, here, is to see that pattern being formed, price action being formed. So the reason why I also said I'm going to be waiting is because London sections haven't opened yet. So like I say, I don't chase after price. I mark out my levels and I become patient. I wait for price to come to me. So already in this situation, there's reasons and there's definitely opportunities to go in, but I'm not gonna go in because then I just have to watch out what is gonna happen. So when marking out the high and low of the week, what I usually do is to see price do this. Is to see price either break the high of the week, maybe to the upside. Then I'll wait for the retest here to go long. I'll wait for the retest here to go long. I'll wait for the retest to go long. Then I'm going to position like this if it breaks above the high of the week. If I repeat again, the reason why I'm waiting out is to see when the London session officially opens, is to see price break above the high of the week. Then when it breaks above the high of the week and I pick up my measurement tool and it confirms 50 pips movement into the upside, I know that the trend is valid. I know that the bullish buy or the bulls are valid in the market. So all I'm going to be waiting for is to wait at this level here for a retest. And when I wait on this level here, then it gives me a very good entry trade. So on the other hand, if I'm definitely to sell, I have to see what? I have to see price do this as well. From the low of the week, I have to see price broke below 50 pips, then a retest. Then I will short as the case may be. I will short. So it might be here, it's going to break to this level, then retest. But like I said, I have to see these things play out. Like I have to see this thing play out. Let me recap again so you understand me clearly. So the reason why I'm waiting, already my weekly high of the week and low of the week has given me a directional bias. It's giving me a bias to go short based on price action. But I'm not going to go in yet. I'm going to wait for the London session to officially open by 9 a.m. So this is the two scenarios I'm waiting for. If price breaks above the high of the week, it's fine. I'm not going to chase after it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to reposition for the red test, because whenever price break above my weekly high of the week, there is high chance that market is going to retest the same high of the week before pushing to the upside. And in the case of a sell, whenever market breaks below the low of the week, like I said, I will measure if it validates 50 pips movement. Whenever it breaks below the low of the week, markets always tend to retest on that low of the week before dropping or going short again. So this is why I'm waiting. This is the two scenarios I'm waiting for. I mark out this level to see what price is going to do. Then if price plays out the way I anticipate, all I'm going to do is to position. I'm falling down to the intermediate time frame, which is the current time frame. So you can see from the 1 hour time frame is making sense. From the 1 hour time frame, it's making sense. What am I expecting again? For price to either break the high of the week, validate it and confirm it by 50 pip movement, then market is eventually going to retest around this level of the week, the high of the week. Then during this scenario, remember here is my 1 hour time frame. I'm going to then position for a long. I'm going to position for a long trade. I'm going to position for a long trade. So if market eventually breaks out, I'm not going to chase after it. Like I told you, patience is key. I'm going to position where market retests around these levels. I'm going to retest. I'm going to wait for the position. I'm going to wait for a position from this level. So remember, here is my 1 hour time frame. So I'm just trying to give you an example of what I'm going to do on my 15-minute time frame. What I'm going to do. So if the market breaks above, if the market breaks above, this is what I'm going to be doing in a nutshell. I'm going to reposition on this break test of the high and low of the week. I'm going to retest. I'm going to wait for the retest around this level before going for a long trade. That is the case of a bullish buy or a buy trade. So if it happens on a trade that is then a sell trade, market breaks below, all I'm going to be doing, I'm not going to chase after it. I'm going to be patient, wait for the retests on the resistant level, because this time it's going to turn resistant if it broke below. If it breaks above, it's going to be support. So I'm going to be waiting on the retest before I go in for a sell. That is exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be positioning for a sell around this level. So let me remove this previous buy. Yeah. So I'm going to be positioning here for a sell. So if that plays out, I'm going to go in on my 15 minutes time frame, being my entry time frame. I'm going to then position for a sell. This is what I'm going to be doing. So yes, I'm going to be risking 30 pips. I'm just giving you an illustration. So I'm going to be risking 30 pips to make 100 pips. So if price breaks, you can clearly see what I'm going to do on my 15-minute time frame. If price breaks below, I'm going to position at the retest. That retest is going to be this level. I'm going to be waiting and positioning around this level for the retest for me to go short. So this is the two scenarios I'm waiting for. This is key. I have to be patient to allow price to play out to show me what it wants to do. So if price then breaks below, like I told you, I'm going to wait for a retest. From this level, it's already showing me that market is going to dump to the ground side, but I'm not going to speculate. I trade based on pure price action and technical analysis. So these are the two scenarios I'm waiting for. So if it plays out in this manner, I'm only going to be executing on my 15-minute time frame, exactly as I showed you. So that is what I'm anticipating for today. That is what I'm looking at for today. Already, market it's positioning for a sell. It is positioning for a sell, but there is no speculations. Like I told you, I've explained the two scenarios whereby I'm going to either sell or buy. So if I'm selling at this particular time, it needs to be on this level. It needs to be on this level. This is how it's going to be if I'm selling from this level as it is right now. It's going to be from this level. It's going to be exactly from this level. So if I'm selling, I'm just trying to make sure you understand exactly and how I plot my SL and TP as well. So if I'm selling, I'm going to be selling just exactly like this if I'm selling. But I'm not selling yet. I'm waiting for price to definitely play out. And at the same time, I'm waiting for London session to officially open by 9. So this is my bias. This is what I'm going to be doing today. I've explained the two scenarios for you. You can see on my 15-minute time frame. If I'm selling, this is how it ought to be. I'll be selling when price triggered this my high of the week. I'm gonna be selling when price triggered this level. If I'm to sell, this is how I'm going to sell the market GBPUSD today because market has already given me confluences. It has already given me 3/4 confluences around this level. So that's how you can see I've highlighted where I ought to be selling. Why? Psychological level acting as resistance, high of the week acting as resistance, the price action and MO pattern on this situation being a downtrend, an MO pattern. So this is what I'm waiting for. You see. So if I'm selling right now, this is what I ought to do. But I'm not selling yet because I want the London session to officially open before I can go in on a sell or a buy. So after marking the high of the week and the low of the week, the key note to denote is that you have to wait for price to break to the upside, like which means break above the high of the week or break below the low of the week. Once it breaks below of the week, I'm going to position on the retest of the low of the week, which gives me confluences as well. If it breaks above, I'm going to then position on the retest of the high of the week, which gives me also confluences to go in. So this is what I'm going to be doing. This is exactly how I'm going to be trading, and this is how I trade. I mark out my levels every Monday and then allow price to come to me. So you can clearly see what I'm talking about. So if you want to learn how I go about these setups, how I spot these levels, how I read price action and analyze technical analysis, I just need you to subscribe, like, comment for more.